This podcast is part of the Listen Frederick Podcast Network. To learn more, visit listenfrederick.com.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 101 of Beers in the Lot. We were missing Danny today, but Riggs and Johnny and I had plenty of fun talking about our post-game festivities and our Old Fat Bald Guys Hockey League game on Sunday night. A little bit of free agency and trades and signings, and it's the off-season, so we tend to get kind of off on weird subjects. Today, that subject was coffee. So let's go.
It's a healthy stream there on that pour, Riggs.
A healthy stream.
Yeah. What are you pouring into that frosty mug, Riggs?
I grabbed Troeg's Nimble Giant. Only
Nice.
comes out once a year.
Yeah.
So came out last month, I think. So
Noise.
Troeg's Nimble Giant from Hershey, Pennsylvania, home of the Hershey Bears.
Right up the road.
Yes.
And Boudreaux's junior team, the Hershey
And-
Cubs.
Yes, and the Cubs.
Sick logo.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Johnny sounded like he was using a zip tie, so I can only assume that he's drinking out of a rocket ship can.
That's right. I'm drinking a Walker House staple, a great taste, less filling Miller Lite out of a aluminum rocket ship. Actually, I was thinking about this carrying it to my office. Do you think like these aluminum cans get much colder than the cans, like the standard 12-ounce cans? Is it just me that thinks this?
They might be a slightly thicker aluminum to maintain the rigidity needed for that shape. Maybe.
Yeah, the long journey. The
That's-
long journey to the space.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Saturn V is obviously a little bit thicker than just your average tin can. So
That was it taking off. That was a sound right there.
Oh,
Took
that
off
was
into
okay.
space.
I was wondering what that sound was.
Yeah. What are you drinking this evening, Aaron? Is yours flying to space?
Mine is my beer is not going to space. So,
Oh,
but from our friends at Flying Dog, I have a Hop Electric Hazy IPA, which
yeah.
is barely an IPA if you ask me, because I hate IPAs, but I don't hate this beer. This is a good beer. I like this one. So I like this. It's good. I had one in the lot last night.
One.
Good for you, Aaron.
Probably one too many, but
One.
That's a number from now on. When anyone asks, how many do you have? One too many. Just say
one
that.
too many. Yeah.
One too many.
we had a time in the lot last night, honestly.
Yeah,
In
especially
the downpour.
Yeah, when the storm came through.
Everybody was
great.
piling into Brando's truck except for me and one of the other guys. We had an umbrella and we fared not so well. we were soaked. I was absolutely soaked when I was getting in the car. Not to mention that my gear was in a river, so that didn't go over well.
Oh,
It was a good little time in the lot. It was after our first week of playoff games and Old Fat Ball Guys hockey. So
our first week of 2 weeks.
the first of 2
Playoff.
weeks of playoff and a long, grueling slog to the Old Fat Bald Guys Cup. Yep.
People agree. It is a slog. Yeah, you're right.
the whole 1 game series.
Yep. The 1 game series in a 4-team bracket.
God.
It's an all victors podcast tonight.
Yeah.
Everybody here is a winner.
Everybody on here is in the championship game. Danny's not here though, so no losers.
Danny is out tonight. But
Good guys 4, losers 2.
Oh.
good games though, I guess, right? You guys' game was good. Ours wasn't so close as yours, I don't think, but
Yeah, we talked about before that black team in OFBG the last 2 seasons. Not good drafts.
Just can't get it. Can't get it right, that team.
Like I said it earlier, I think it starts at the top and works its way to the bottom. So, there are GMs and owners in other sports that have been fired for way less. I'm just saying that out loud. Like,
Actually, the guy I was sharing an umbrella with, he had a sick goal in our game. He's doing his best to keep that black team, competitive, but he denied that he had a sick backhand goal. He said it wasn't on his backhand, but I saw it. It went in off his backhand.
Maybe he blacked out.
he went sicko mode and just lost his mind. He had no clue.
Well, at the end of the day, the 3 of us get to play for the right to wear an ill-fitting t-shirt as a championship prize. So it's all good.
Can't wait. I'm thrilled.
Maybe one of us, or maybe some of us will get a new night shirt. A new night shirt for our wives. That's because they all, like you said, they're all ill-fitting. None of them fit us.
Yeah, I mean, it's you get those promotional printed t-shirt deals, right? Like whatever, it's fine.
Give me an XL. It's normally like it actually fits like a medium.
Yeah. But like sometimes there's cool stuff. Like,
oh yeah,
there was coolers one time. Used to have like quarter zips and hoodies and all kinds of stuff. So we kid.
Yeah, there's been some good stuff. There's been a lot of t-shirts, so
a lot of t-shirts.
Simple, easy button. That's why. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
All right. So speaking of easy button, did you guys do your homework assignment?
I did my homework assignment.
Yes.
Yes.
I am thrilled. All right. We'll start going around the classroom. Aaron.
Well, you have to tell people what the homework was. No one else knows except for us.
All right. So the homework assignment was, I was in the car on Friday, heard a song on my Spotify. I just came across because I was listening to other songs from said artist. Friday night, I was at home and I heard the song again, this time much louder because somebody else in the house was playing it. Not off my Spotify list, but weird enough, we listen to the same types of music pretty much. So it came on again. And as much as I couldn't get out of my head, the more and more I thought, it resembled more and more of what I thought of what the Pittsburgh Penguins are doing this offseason and how they're going down this path. And it's Mind Games from John Lennon. and I think of the opening line in the song. It's Mind Games, playing Mind Games together, because I was like, as a fan, I want to be emotionally, I'll just say it, for the Pittsburgh Penguins is a well-known fact. Like, I am emotionally vulnerable for that team. Like, let me get all the feels, let me get all the hurt, all of it. I'm fine with that. But also at the same time, like I think I'm a little more educated than the average fan watching, because like I know what the future is going to hold. I have a good idea what, the next 2 years can conceivably look like as well in the Eastern Conference and also around the league. So I was kind of like, the more and more I listen to the song, I feel like, yeah, I want to like really buy in and go like, man, we're going to have like a good couple of last years running with, downhill with Gino and Letang and Sid. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, no, this is like it's not. And then we got Petrie on Saturday, and now Letang is the second highest paid defenseman on our roster because Jeff Petrie makes more. So it's like, I just was like, oh my God, that's like so sums up just how I feel about the Penguins right now. So the homework assignment, long-winded, was give me a song that how you feel about either NHL free agency, NHL offseason, or your current team. So Aaron?
The song that I came up with was What's Up by Four Non Blondes, because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Well, yeah, because you went to storm the beaches in Normandy for a while. You came back after you were overseas on deployment. You came back, and you've kind of been a little out of touch. Yeah.
Yeah, I normally just don't pay that much attention to free agency either. I mean, the big blockbuster trades, yeah, they'll come across my notifications or whatever in my phone, but it's not on TV. Can't watch play. The cup's already been awarded. It's just not in the forefront of my mind right now. I get excited to see the team develop and change over the off season, but I don't know. Yeah, I pay attention to it closer to the beginning of the season, I guess.
Yeah, with like Klingberg and Kadri still technically free agents. Yeah, it's still kind of a lot of balls in the air for a lot of teams. So I get it.
Yeah.
Riggs, what about you, my friend?
So I actually thought about 3 different songs today after you asked the question last night. So the first thought that popped in my head wasn't actually a song. It's the scene in the first Michael Keaton Batman movie.
Okay.
When the Joker has the parade and he's throwing money everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's the Prince tune Trust off of that soundtrack. Right. So it's not so much about the song, but like the whole scene where they're just throwing money around. Hubba, 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 who do you trust? I'm giving away free money, right?
Where's the Batman?
Those are
he's at home washing his tights.
Yeah, exactly. So those are NHL GMs, right? Throwing money at free agents. And then I thought about, okay, well, what about the players side of it? So I thought about the Huey Lewis tune, Working for a Living.
Yeah, man.
I'm taking what they're giving because I'm working for a living, right?
There you go.
So that's like the NHL free agent side. And then I was thinking about how, and you mentioned the emotional attachment to the teams and the players and stuff. And I always get on fans for having unhealthy emotional attachments to bottom 6 players in a lineup.
Jay Beagle's your dog, though.
He is, but you
They're
know
on
what?
both sides of the fence right now, Riggs.
But you know what? But you know what? Washington let him walk, and that was a great decision.
They did,
because he wasn't going to be worth that money, and Vancouver gave it to him. So whatever.
Absolutely.
But I thought of the 38 Special song, "Hold On Loosely."
Oh yeah.
You got to hold on loosely and don't let go. Don't hold too tightly. You know,
that's right.
Thing, or else you lose control. So, you know, like your players, cheer for your players while they're on your team. But if the business side of things doesn't make sense, gotta let them walk.
Let them go.
So those were the 3 that I thought of today.
And clearly too, funny you mentioned that. It's not always a business side. Sometimes it's a comfort side. Like Johnny Hockey left way more money on the table and everyone's bagging him. And I kind of feel bad for the guy, but I'm also like, he spent his entire NHL career up to this point, was an insanely productive player for him.
Yes.
And it's his right. And yes, I fully agree. Like I see both sides of it from like an ownership and a management group. Like it's kind of like, we would love to just know, because that way we can make our own business decision. Now they're kind of stuck and they have this weird conundrum now with Matthew Tkachuk, because Matthew Tkachuk may go like, I only put like 100 points up last year because I was playing with Johnny. Now Johnny's not here. I don't know if I want to be here. And it changes the entire trajectory of Calgary, obviously.
Or he's like, I don't want to be here because he's not here and helping the team, right? And we were only that good because that type of player was here. You know, that kind of thing. And Johnny Hockey going to Columbus now probably makes that team a more attractive place to be for other players in the NHL.
Well, and think how many guys have high-end players have been in Columbus the last couple of years and have left for bigger markets.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to say bigger markets because Columbus is a good sports area. albeit like college sports. But let's just call it better hockey markets. Let's just say that.
Or it didn't pan out. Like I would argue that Rick Nash did not do well in Columbus. Like he was good, but he probably could have been better somewhere else, if you ask me.
Well, yeah, but you also got to think like it's hockey. It's not basketball where it's a one-man show. Like hockey's a team sport. So
right.
I get what you're saying, but I also would go like, all right, look at a guy like Taylor Hall.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's kind of, you can't really do that with the players. Yeah, I agree with
it's
you.
a double-edged sword. I get it. I think Rick Nash had a great NHL career. Like he was good.
He's a great player, but I guess I just always felt like he wasn't at his potential there.
Yeah, you thought there was always something more he could squeeze out.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I get it.
But like you said, with Johnny Hockey going out there, and hey, maybe somebody else now wants to come to Columbus to play with him, and that team turns into a powerhouse in a few seasons. Who knows?
Well, the interesting thing too, like even the GM essentially, like it wasn't, he didn't straight out come and say it, but like apparently like they found out through his agent that they're like, oh, Johnny's interested in it. Oh, he's interested in us too. Like it's not just we're interested in him.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, really?
Oh, he wants to come here.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, damn. And then it was interesting too. Like Johnny was like reaching out to other players that have played there, or guys that have been through that program, and even like he's like, yeah, every time I came here, it was good energy in the building. I liked it. It was good.
Except for the
cannon. Like I said, yeah, he doesn't like the cannon. So like he may want to, for a guy putting up 100 points a year, you may want to like
get used to that.
Like, I mean, I was thinking too, it's a comfort thing. Like it's lower pressure than being in Calgary. Not in a bad way. Because like I said, Columbus is a good sports town, but you're in the East. So you can kind of like, I think
it's not a Canadian market for one. Like you've said, we've said it 100 times. Teams in Canadian markets just have way more eyes on them and way more pressure. And yeah, he's an American. So he's an American now. He's in an American market. He doesn't have the same pressure that he had in Calgary for sure. Guaranteed. He might have more pressure, like in terms of he's now like the big guy on the team or whatever. Not that he wasn't in Calgary, but he it's more probably team pressure as opposed to media and fan pressure. Probably be a better assessment of it, I think, because it's just Canada loves their hockey teams, and if they don't do well, then you just get destroyed in the media. Like we were showing that clip. You guys were sharing it of the TV guy in Calgary who is signing off and saying, "Oh well, you'll catch me here next week unless somebody in Columbus offers me less money to do the same thing, and then I might do that." They're a little salty up there.
What a big baby.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that kind of annoys me about it a little bit, like in a funny way, I'm kind of like, they say more money. Like, okay, he left $8-9 million on the table, 10, I think altogether, something like that. But like, he's still got over 50 million. Like that's like small potatoes at that point when you're counting that type of coin.
Right.
So
I think that's a healthy outlook that he has. In fact, it's like, hey, you know what? I'll take 10 million less to go play someplace that I might feel better at. Yeah.
Yeah. Quality of life. And like I said, I think his wife is from the Philly area. He has family in like Philly and Jersey. So they're closer, less travel on the East Coast too, or in the Eastern Conference, I should say. So yeah. So
less travel, and it's, below the Arctic Circle. So I mean, him being an American, maybe, hey, being up that far up north it's different.
I heard it's because Johnny Hockey doesn't like stampedes and stuff.
Oh, oh man. Hey, look, it ain't always about the money.
No.
It
There's
isn't.
so much other stuff that goes into it. There's family situation, which you alluded to. There's just the everyday living too.
Mhm.
You know, I've never been to Calgary. I want to go just to
I do too.
see the town, go see a Flames game, do that whole deal. But maybe it just wasn't right for him, and at this time in his life, maybe earlier in his career, maybe it made sense, and now it doesn't, and Columbus does, or it's better for what he's trying to do with his family and stuff. Like, you can't. Nobody's actually going to know what the real reasons are other than himself and probably his close friends and family and all that. So you can't be mad at him. And we say it all the time too. We're pro player. Go get the money you're owed.
Yeah, you eat that wheat, man.
Yeah, exactly. Get the bag. Like, go
Yeah.
get the money you're owed. So he got his contract. He seems very positive and upbeat about what's going on moving there. So good on Johnny Gaudreau there.
Well, it reminds me a little bit of that Panarin situation when he left, because his exact words, like, it was filtered out through his agent. Like, he's like, I want to go play in a big American city that has like a lot of media, a lot of, glitz, and it's in a big media market. So like everyone's like, oh, he's going to go to LA or New York. And he ended up in New York.
New York.
Right.
And that's because that's where he wanted to live. And everyone, kind of was like, oh, that's crap. He could go stay in Columbus and do blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, guess what? He grew up in Russia and he's in he's in America. He's not leaving America anytime soon. We don't need to get into the reasons why, obviously, but he's safe on the soil. He wanted to go play in New York. Good for him. And actually, after this year, he looks pretty damn good doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
That's pressure, I think. Like, especially if you're going to call where you're going, like similar situation. Because, it was reported over the weekend down the road, Soto turned down that $440 million contract with the Nats because he doesn't want to play with the Nationals.
Well, he can probably make like 30% more. 30% more than that. So that's a little bit different situation.
Two teams in New York.
Well, yeah, especially in baseball too, right? There's no salary cap, so
and they can pay out contracts till they're like 107.
Your earning potential is basically an infinity symbol. So you just have to find the right financial situation in an ownership group to get the money that you're going to get. So with the NHL, right, salary caps in place, you've got hard floors and hard ceilings, there's penalties, there's all kinds of stuff in place that controls the rate of growth and player salary. So, these guys are going to top out at 10 million a year AAV on average at the top end, right? You're not going to get anything more than that. So if you're looking
with
at
the salary cap now, yeah.
If you're looking at that, it is what it is, right?
Well, and too, funny you mentioned like kind of the cap crunch. Like, look at the good free agents that are still out there with Kadri and Klingberg, and then you look at the group of like RFAs that didn't get qualifying offers. Heinen didn't get a qualifying offer. Rodriguez, the Pens just let him walk as a UFA, and I actually thought he did pretty damn well for the Pens this year. So they just let him walk. We need that money to re-sign Gino, but yeah, it was okay.
So another notable contract signing, not a free agent, contract signing out in Seattle. Shane Wright signed his entry-level contract.
They gave that guy 3 years? Got to get rid of these bad contracts. He's never been in the NHL before. Oh, my gosh.
I've known him for 2 weeks. He should have signed it.
Seattle Kraken hockey Twitter is going nuts because the Seattle Kraken signed him to the standard entry-level contract in the NHL.
CBA, mandated standard 3-year entry-level contract.
There's
probably, no lower than that.
There's probably a link on NHL.com somewhere where you could download the PDF of the template contract that they use.
Yeah.
And you too could see what it is.
I actually sent in our personal group thread the PTO contract that I pulled off because I was actually one of these guys had like a CBA question for me, and I was like, I actually don't know that, so I have it like bookmarked on my phone, the NHL CBA. This is make me go and look. But yeah,
Seattle Kraken hockey Twitter is going nuts,
melting down.
This is like a bad contract.
He's got no NHL experience. Why'd they give him 3 years?
So what are the Kraken fans? What are the Kraken fans going to do next year when they find out they have 13 picks in the draft? They're going to lose their
13
mind.
times 3 years.
Look, it's a new hockey market.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Okay, it's first year last year. That town has been crazy for the Seahawks in recent memory.
Great sports town.
That's been the team that, the football has been great for them. They had success recently. The Mariners back in the day when Griffey Jr. was there, that was the team, right? The Sonics, when they were there, since they got their basketball team taken away from them, they always supported them very well, right? New hockey town. I get it. Y'all need to calm down about an entry-level contract for your number 4 overall top pick in your second draft ever. Just chill out. It's an entry-level deal, standard contract. There's some wiggle room in the money there, but who cares? It's peanuts compared to what he's going to make later on in his career. So watch out. Wait till he gets his first real deal, his first 5 or 6 year deal. You guys are going to be really surprised then.
And maybe after he changes out of his Warrior gear, maybe then he'll get a real deal too.
They gave him league maximum for the ELC, right? 925 or 950?
950 is standard for like a first round player. I would say like in the top, let's go 1 to 20 roughly. And then I guarantee there's probably like $3 to $5 million in performance bonuses.
Yeah.
If he hits them. And some of that's like some of the rookie ones. And it's normally the performance bonuses aren't always released. Normally it's tied to games, points. For a high pick like himself, it's probably, among rookies, your first year, goals, assists, points, game appearances, and then also too like Calder. Like if he wins the Calder Trophy, he may get an extra $1 million or $1.5 million. It just depends how they work it. And that's generally the agent and the team. It's somehow tied to it. Like I remember the one that was never reported, but it was in Jonathan Taves's contract after like that first cup when they had to jettison half the team. He had like a $4 million bonus that does count against your salary cap if he won the Conn Smythe. So wins Conn Smythe, bang, bang. They had to ship guys out. It was either him or Kane. I can't remember, but one of them on the first cup won the Conn Smythe, and then that was a performance bonus that kicked in. So they had to get rid of like Bufflin and Ladd, and there were other people they jettisoned, but whatever. But yeah.
Well, yeah, my point is that Shane Wright's got an entry-level contract for less than $1 million for 3 years. The salary cap is what, 80.2 or something like that? 82 million per team?
Yeah.
So, he's getting like nothing. They need to calm down out there in Seattle.
Yep.
This is not a big deal.
Go to Starbucks,
Go get yourself some coffee.
Don't take your laptop with you. Just sit down, get a book, go to Starbucks. Just sit down and relax and listen to the music that they have in there. It's always very relaxing. Just sit down.
I find it too relaxing. Anytime like I stop and like with my laptop and like do some work emails, I'm like, I need anger like to get this stuff done. Like this is, I don't know. I also have like a continual fight with those people. You guys know about this? I take nothing in my coffee.
I'm the same way.
Just black. And every time I go through a Starbucks drive-through, they try and trick me. And I go, hi, I'd like an iced or a, hot coffee. Would you like anything in it? No. Do you want room for cream or sugar? No. And finally, this is years ago at this point. I was just not having a good day. I was kind of aggravated. I went through, I got like 2 shots of espresso and then a hot coffee on the side. And I was just like a hot little tater tot that day. And this poor girl goes like, oh, do you want anything in your coffee or espresso? No, thank you. Do you want room for cream or sugar in either of them? No, thank you. You want nothing in your black coffee? And I just said, I was polite, but I was kind of stern. So like, and I knew I came off like a total asshole, but whatever. I was like, the only thing I want in my coffee is black coffee. Thank you. And she told me my total. I went to the thing, said thank you. And I think I even tipped like a 5 in there because I was like, oh, so like wait, I felt like horrible.
Hold on, you tipped on black coffee?
I did because I just felt so bad about it. And as somebody who frequents like a lot of coffee places,
they didn't have
like
to
just
do
driving
anything.
around.
They didn't do anything. They just put it in a cup.
It was such an a-hole. I just hate being that guy.
Well,
I don't know.
That's your all right. Yeah.
Yeah. I was making amends.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I was putting I was putting better juju out in the world.
Yeah.
I'm not running around like just tipping people.
My thing with I hardly, it's probably been 5 years since I've stepped foot in a Starbucks, right? I used to go there all the time. Like,
yeah, drive-throughs I'm in way more than the actual building.
No, not even drive. Like, I haven't been to one in forever.
It means step foot is like, like metaphor.
Been on the property.
Yeah.
Like, so.
He just scoffs every time he drives by.
Been in the domain of a Starbucks. So, like, so when I would go, when I stopped drinking like the Starbucks drinks, like the lattes and shit, because that's what when I was going a lot, that's what I was getting. When I just started drinking just straight gas, just black coffee.
So you would go in and just order a mocha choca bullshit?
Yeah, exactly.
So you ordered like one of those?
That's what I get.
Exactly. That's what I used to get. So then I was like, now when I get coffee, just black coffee. So I would go in and I would say, I need a large black coffee. And they're like, you want a venti?
Oh, they hate
whatever
that.
it
They
is,
do that all the time. Yeah.
You want a venti
like
black
large
coffee? And I'm like, yes, a large black coffee.
Yeah.
They go, black coffee, and they turn their head like when you talk to the dog.
Like a dog.
It turns its head.
I know.
They turn their head. Black coffee? Are you sure? I'm like, yes. I told you the thing that I want. This is a retail establishment. I told you the thing that I want. You will put it in the cash register computer thing and you will give it to me and I will pay you.
See, isn't that funny? Anytime you ask for black coffee there, they turn their head like dogs, but the person before you ordered, can I have a half calf decaf latte, 2 pumps original, 1 pump caramel, 3 pumps this, oat milk, skip the half, extra 1%, like this insane thing, and they just go, yeah, no problem. You're like, what the?
Yeah, like, it's a different language.
It is.
It's a different language.
And it's somebody who just goes, I just want black coffee. Thanks. Like, appreciate it.
Well, that'll do it for episode 101. As always, we appreciate your listen and your likes and rates and reviews and subscriptions and all that good stuff. Thank you so much for your support. Hey, let us know what you think about this episode. Come talk to us on Discord at beersintheLot.com/Discord. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to hear us talk about. Post some memes. Have some fun chatting with us and other listeners about hockey. It's basically free Beers in the Lot content in text form whenever you want. So check it out. beersintheLot.com/Discord for all the details on how to get in there. It's really easy, I promise. So if we don't see you there, we'll catch you next week with episode 102. See you.